Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. I wanted to do a quick little video talking again about the recent Dino Team Up, specifically Grid Connection, comparing it quickly a little bit to Dimensions in Danger. Now I'm going to be comparing just these one episodes, which are Dimension in Danger and Grid Connection, as like a one-off, sort of one-part team up, but I will be talking about their build-up a little bit. There was a lot of hype surrounding this Dino one, and a hope that they would pay even more special attention to it, and it had a better build-up to it. So lots of people had a lot of high expectations. I had like mid-range expectations because I'm so lukewarm on team-ups, but I found it was generally a letdown, and I found I enjoyed Dimensions in Danger quite a bit more, and I wanted to explain why, especially since I had even lower expectations going in Dimensions in Danger. But to start off, let's talk about build-up. I think that mostly the Dino Team Up had better build-up, because you basically had a part 1 where they teamed up with the Dino Charge Rangers, and then you had that little clip show part 2, which had the introduction of Neo Goldar, aka Goldar Maximus. Not to mention, ever since it came back from hiatus, starting with the Ranger Vault stuff, there was this general sense of connectivity that sort of all led to it, and gave this greater feeling of connection that made you feel like the team-up was also going to feel like that. And so Dimensions in Danger really only had the hooded figures showing up for a cameo, but it was nice that we had at least a little bit of a lead-in, but that was pretty much all they had. But as far as the episode goes, as I said in my review for Grid Connection, it just felt so rushed and hollow, because we didn't have the Dino Thunder people there, you didn't have anybody else from MMPR there, and I didn't expect them to get all of them back, but as I said in the review, it would have been nice to at least get one Dino Thunder person back. There was hardly any cast interaction. It primarily existed just to serve this Sentai footage they had. And there was so much weird convoluted stuff about like, oh, we have to use the grid to connect, and Jason's power coin came out of this meteor suddenly, and on one hand I was like, I appreciate in this one they're actually trying to give you a reason why they have their powers back, but I felt like for whatever reason or another we knew that Jason already had access to his powers because he used them in Forever Red, and assuming it was him in Legendary Battle he had it there as well. So I didn't really need that, and if anything, their attempt to answer questions with that raised more questions. Now, Dimensions in Danger was kind of rushed, and a lot of people complained that it was overly Tommy-focused and the other characters were mainly cameos, which isn't untrue. Tommy got the most screen time, Wes and Coda and Gemma got the second most because they were pre-established a little bit and they were missioning along with the Rangers, and then everyone else was more or less a cameo. But the thing I liked about that was the fact that they were there. They weren't just soulless suits with voiceovers that didn't even sound close to the characters. The fact that they were all there and there was no footage of soulless suits and they used original footage of only the Rangers that were there, it felt right. It felt like all those Rangers were actually there. Most of them got a couple good lines. There was a nice sense of connectivity. And you know, talking about Tommy versus Jason's appearances, it was nice to see Jason again. I personally felt there was something off about it, his performance, and maybe it's because Tommy, or JDF's always just been playing Tommy, that he just feels more like Tommy when he plays the role, but there was something off about it. But I felt like he didn't get very much. I wanted to see more from him, some more interactions. Like, that's what means more to me, is the interactions and not so much the fighting. We didn't get very much of that. There wasn't necessarily a terrible amount with Tommy, but there was a lot of cool stuff with Tommy. Continuity-wise, we found out he has a family with Kat, which also kind of surprisingly led into the comic that was about to come out. But that was a nice bit for those that have been watching since Zeo. He was in the Dino Thunder house, nice bit of continuity. We got the Master Morpher, which was super cool. It just felt like there was a lot more connectivity and lore connections. Oddly enough, despite Dinos having a lot more build-up to that type of stuff, this felt right. There was a general feeling, which you get in some of the other team-ups like Forever Red, that the Rangers are in contact with each other and they go on missions when we're not seeing them. I really liked that bit. I thought that was super cool. Even stuff like the Ranger clones that were cloned from the Rangers they kidnapped was cool. We even got a figure for that. Like, both of them were kind of rushed, but Dimensions in Danger was just so much more enjoyable for me. I felt like the cameos that got more attention had more to it. They added more lore and cool, unexpected moments, like the Master Morpher and the Falcon Zord appearing out of nowhere. I think it was just a lot more exciting and well done. And the Dino one felt rushed, and it felt like it was more so serving the fact that they wanted to use the Sentai footage. And I just wish it was something more And I talked about in the review how amazing it could have been with all the connections of the Dino seasons if they got Tommy back. Again, I'm not saying like, oh my god, let's get Tommy back too, but if Tommy and Jason could have interacted again, since Tommy was part of yet another Dino season that had more dinosaur lore and the Dino gems. I mean, like I said in the review too, I would have even just been happy with getting the voice of Connor or something, but I just found, surprisingly, Dimensions in Danger to be so much better. It had so many much more cool, surprising moments, a little bit more cool lore stuff, a little bit more cool character interactions, and it didn't feel as hollow. I think that's the #1 thing. Even though a lot of the Rangers were just more or less a cameo, the fact that they were not only just actually there and we got to see them, but that they didn't have suits appearing of people that weren't there, it made it feel much more meaningful. But you know, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? As you know, personally, I prefer Dimensions in Danger. Personally, overall, I still prefer Once a Ranger. But let me know in the comments. As always, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.